Welcome to Persuasive Essays, Day 4. Remember, yesterday we read the essay, Words of a Patriot, We Must Be Independent. Remember, this essay writer is a colonist in Boston. As we discussed yesterday, his point of view is that the colonies need to separate from England. As you reread today, pay attention to how the writer uses reasons to support that point of view. Then we'll analyze those reasons in depth. But first, let's talk about our targets for today. You will reread and analyze a persuasive essay. Okay. You will analyze the reasons and evidence and argument uses to support specific arguments in a persuasive essay. And what you're going to do is you're going to use that the graphic organizer, that table on the last page of your handouts. And then finally, build oral language and vocabulary. And we're not going to do as much oral language as it's going to be more written language. So, to review the features of a persuasive essay, let's start today with purple. A persuasive essay uses facts and evidence to make a case. And that's what we're going to be really focusing on today, is that evidence. And we're going to analyze the evidence, okay? A persuasive essay has a specific audience in mind. A persuasive essay has a strong position or point of view. A persuasive essay suggests solutions or actions. And a persuasive essay uses powerful words to influence the reader. Now, when we think about the essay, we must be independent by the Patriot, the writer, the Boston writer, he uses all of these things. The persuasive essay has a specific audience in mind. He wants the people who are on the fence, who aren't doing anything, to join the cause. He has facts, okay? He talks about, taxation without representation, the Intolerable Acts, the Tea Acts, kind of all those things that he believes that the colonists are being subjected to by the British. He has a strong point of view. He definitely, there's only one way he believes is right. Okay, he suggests different solutions, and it's a call to action. And then he uses powerful words to influence the reader, words that help pull the reader in and hopefully move the reader towards joining the cause. All right, so let's start. Words of a Patriot. We must be independent. Boston is my home. Massachusetts is my colony, and my homeland is under attack. Actually, Massachusetts is my country. I apologize. And my homeland is under attack. Daily we are assaulted, not with swords and cannon fire, but with taxes and intolerable acts that threaten our freedom. And who is this aggressor? England. If she has her way, all of us colonists will be taxed to death. We cannot permit that. The colonies must be free. We must be brave, fellow patriots. We must fight for our independence. We must fight for our future. Our grievances are many, and they are justified. Taxes are decided in London without representation of the colonies in the British Parliament. No taxes should be imposed on colonial citizens without their permission or without the vote of a representative of the colonies. No taxation without representation. But England, 1,000 miles of ocean away from us, continues to try to run the affairs of the colonies. England tramples upon our rights as free men. The way to put an end to the wrongs being done is to win our freedom from England. We must fight for our independence. We must fight for our future. England says that there are those in Parliament who speak for the colonies, but only representatives chosen by the colonies themselves can represent us. Even if we could elect and send a representative to Parliament in London, England is much too far away to understand our issues and respond quickly. England says we ought to pay more in taxes to pay for its war with France, the French and Indian War, a war that is over and that England won. England says we still need protection, but the French have been defeated. We don't need protection. The truth is, the war pushed England into great debt, and England is taxing us to pay for the war. Without consulting us, England has levied many taxes on the colonies. The worst was the Stamp Act, which placed a tax on almost all documents and official papers, from contracts and wills to newspapers, even playing cards. What foolishness! We were forced by the Tea Act to buy tea only from England, even though we could get our tea cheaper from other countries. But now you must know that some of the English that English tea lies on the bottom of Boston Harbor. To show our anger at this ridiculous tea act, some of us, disguised as Indians, dumped tea from British ships into the harbor. It was a glorious night. Did this teach England not to place taxes upon the colonies without our consent? No. Instead, England closed Boston Harbor and outlawed our town meetings. British troops have been sent to Boston to threaten us. The troops are causing violence, not preventing it. England tells us the Redcoats are here to protect us. We do not need these troops. We do not want these troops. The troops were shipped here to make sure the colonies do as they're told. We know that the troops are here to see it that Boston follows the commands of a king and parliament thousands upon thousands of miles away. What's worse, England has forced us to keep these soldiers. We are compelled to feed them and have them sleep under our own roofs. We are given no choice in the matter, and we are given no compensation, no money to cover the cost of the food and lodging for the soldiers. This is an outrageous violation of our rights to property and privacy. England has been trying to control our rights and privileges for many years. Too many years. We are convinced that the situation has gotten so bad that it is impossible to peacefully resolve the differences between England and the colonies. Fellow patriots, the time has come for the colonies to separate from England, and we will fight as necessary to achieve this. England says we are ungrateful. We are called troublemakers, traitors, and criminals. We are none of those things. We are patriots. We come from many different backgrounds. Some of us are educated citizens and wealthy landowners. Many of us are ordinary citizens, farmers, blacksmiths, seamstresses, shopkeepers, innkeepers, and ministers. We patriots have all come together to protect the colonies from the unreasonable dictates of England. We have come together for freedom. The battle has already begun. Blood has been shed. Here in Boston, British soldiers raised their rifles and fired at people in the streets of Boston. It was a bloody massacre. This was an example of British brutality and how England believes it can do whatever it pleases. Patriots have fought British redcoats in the towns of Lexington and Concord. There were deaths and many wounded. And yet, we will not be bullied. The time has come to stand up to English abuses. We will defy the unfair laws and taxes imposed by England. We will continue to fight to secure our freedom, now and for the future. Citizens of the colonies, you must join Massachusetts in the struggle against tyranny. By Patriot Josiah Wainwright. Now that you've heard this story, what I'd like you to do is you can I guess you could go through well, you really can't in the video because you can't really go back. There are text for closed readings. They should be on the counter by the window, and you can go through. Again, it's going to be on pages 143 and 146, and I want you to answer the questions that are in your packet. And then when you are done, I would like you to look at the table at the back of the packet that says the British rule the colonies and impose rules and taxes without giving them representation. Position: the colonists should fight the British to become free. Audience: other colonists. So look at the arguments for position and the evidence to support the argument. So for instance, colonists, for instance, right here, arguments for position. Colonists should fight against England because they are being unfairly taxed. Evidence to support the argument. No taxes should be imposed on colonial citizens without their permission or without the vote of a representative of the colonies. No taxation without representation. And that was found on page 143. So it'll be helpful if you have your book, and, well, not your book, but a book, and so you can go through this, right? So, in closing, today we analyze how writers use reasons to support an argument. When you read an argument or persuasive text, look for the writer's position. Think about his or her reasons. Ask yourself, are the reasons convincing? Do they rely on facts or just more opinions? Thinking carefully about the reasons will help you make your own judgments about what to think. All right, that's all I've got. Make sure you finish this up, and this will be due tomorrow. Actually, we'll collect it Monday just because we'll collect this and word work at the same time. All right, get to work.